Folly, and today I'm going to be talking about my winter TBR. So before Christmas I did my winter reading guide, which is talking about all of my recommended reads for the winter season, as I am a mood reader, so any of you mood readers out there might benefit from that. I will link it down below for you guys. But this is a list of all the books that I want to read this winter season because I feel like they're wintry. In the winter, I like reading pretty intense stuff. So I like to read historical fiction mainly, but I also really like epic fantasy. Now, I don't know what I was thinking putting this list together because I have a ton of books here. Now, considering the fact that winter is over in like March-ish and it's almost the end of January, this probably won't happen, but I'm gonna keep on dreaming. So let's just get into the books, starting off with the historical fiction. So first I have Anna and the Swallow Man by Gavriel Savit. This is probably at the top of this list because this is one of the books that has been on my TBR for the longest, and for whatever reason I just haven't read it yet. I've started it a few times, but I've never actually gotten into it. This is set in Poland during World War II, and it's a magical realism historical fiction, which are two genres that I really love, so I definitely need to get to this one. I'm just realizing this outfit is far more Christmassy than I had previously anticipated, but oh well, 'tis the season. It's not, but we'll pretend. Next is The Nightingale by Kristin. I have heard endless amazing things about this book. It deals with the women's side of World War II, and it follows sisters during the war. I love reading novels about sisters, and I love historical fiction, and knowing how powerful I've heard that this novel is going to be, I'm very excited for it. Speaking of powerful novels, next is The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe, translated by Lilit Thwaites. This is probably going to be the most intense book on this list, and I definitely am going to have to be in the mood to read it because I feel like it's going to be really difficult. It is based on the true story of Auschwitz prisoner Dita Kraus and her efforts to keep the magic of books alive during the war. So this deals with the children's block of Auschwitz, and I feel like it is going to be an amazingly powerful novel, but I'm so scared to read it because I know it's going to be such an emotional experience, but I am really looking forward to it because I feel like it is an important book. And the final World War II historical fiction on this list is Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse. This is set in Nazi-occupied Netherlands, which is very intriguing to me as my family is Dutch on my mom's side, so I do have relatives that lived there at the time, and this is all about a girl who ends up getting tangled up in some dangerous business during the war. I feel like similarly to the other two novels I was talking about, this has a lot of potential to be super powerful and leave a lasting impression on me. Next, I have two books by the same author, and that is Sharon Biggs-Waller. So I have The Forbidden Orchid and A Mad Wicked Folly. A Mad Wicked Folly is set in 1909 in England and follows this girl who is a part of the suffragette movement. She wants to be an artist, and she's really just fighting back against societal standards for women, which I love. And The Forbidden Orchid I have actually already started, but I ended up starting it before my trip to France, and then when I was in France I wasn't really reading, so I ended up not picking it up again for whatever reason. But it follows a girl who is on a quest to China to find this forbidden orchid. Her father works as this gatherer of unique and exotic plants. It seems so cool. I'm very intrigued by it, and both of these novels I definitely want to get to. Next is Courtship and Curses by Marissa Doyle. This seems like the perfect, fun, Regency set novel to read during the winter. I've heard that Marissa Doyle's novels are really funny, so I'm looking forward to this one. It's all about a girl who is set to debut in London society, but everything keeps going wrong, and there's magic. Next is Gilt by Katherine Longshore. I actually would like to read Tarnish, and I do have a copy, I just don't know where it is, but these are YA novels set in the Tudor era, so kind of like Philippa Gregory-esque things. And I actually have a ton of books that are set in the Tudor era on my shelves, so one of those I will be reading, but Tarnish follows Anne Boleyn, and this follows Catherine Howard. So I'm hoping that I can read them in chronological order, so I will start with Tarnish. Maybe I will be able to find my copy. I hope I will, but we shall see. So those are all the historical fictions I'm hoping to get to in the winter, though I do have many more on my shelves. Now let's get into the fantasy. So first is The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This seems like the perfect fantasy retelling for the winter time. It is set in the Russian wilderness in the middle of winter, and it deals with ice spirits and like different things like that, so I feel like this is going to be perfect for this time of year. Next is Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Bashardoust, and this is a Snow White retelling and snow. So I'm like, perfect, winter, snow, ice, all that stuff. I feel like it'll be good. I honestly don't know too much about this other than the fact that it's a retelling and snow, so I'm like, winter, perfect, it's a match made in heaven. Next is The Last Namsara by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is an epic fantasy that deals with dragons, and one of my best friends just read it and she really enjoyed it. She said she needs the sequel like now, so I'm very much looking forward to reading it. It's about a dragon slayer slayer. Like, I just love stuff about dragons and fantasy worlds where there's different magical creatures. I love that, especially in winter, because I like to escape the cold of Canada. So I feel like this will be helpful with that. Next is The Crown's Fate by Evelyn Skye. This is the sequel to the Crowns game, and it is set in Russia, and it deals with these characters that were in this magical competition to try and be the Tsar's appointed magician, where they would basically hold all the magic of Russia. So I feel like this is a perfect magical wintry read. Next is Awakens by Elise Kova. This deals with a librarian's apprentice who has to choose if she wants to accept her magic and go out into the world as a sorcerer, or if she wants to remain with her books and just eradicate herself of the magic and just live in the comfort of her bookshelves. This seems like a really kind of cozy, read by a fire sort of fantasy, so I'm excited for it. I have two more that I'm going to try and fit in before my battery dies because it is flashing at me like a beacon of death. But next is Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen. This is a fantasy novel that deals with goblins that are like in a mountain. I feel like it seems so cool. It seems very like Victorian underworld sort of thing, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it is. And finally is Whichwood by Tahara Mafi. Just look at this freaking cover. Does that not scream winter to you? But this is the companion to Furthermore, and it deals with a girl who is set to wash dead bodies. Like, what? I feel like this could be really cool, and I'm hoping that the wintry cover matches the inside, so it'll be just as wintry. So those are all the books that I'm hoping to read this winter. Let me know what books you want to read in the winter season and what kind of genres you're into for this season. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday and Thursday. You can also follow me on my social media. I have Twitter, and my Twitter is at HalesInBookland, and I also have Instagram. My Instagram is at HaleyInBookland, but all that stuff is down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!